Today I'm going to show you how to emboss copper. Here's a piece of copper. This copper has a protective coating on it, which is plastic. I recommend taking the coating off because it will age and get a nice patina, which is a natural, it's really oxidation that happens, and we can force that with things like vinegar, salts, ammonia. Be careful if you're using ammonia, but ammonia will make it turn a really neat green. If you leave the protective coating on, that's your choice. You can certainly do this without the protective coating, but I like patina. Okay. The first thing we're going to do with this copper is put a hem around the edge, and you need to find something. This is just a piece of wood. There's bound to be something around your house that is flat and that you're able to do this. What I'm trying to do is bend the edges. So like this one here. Okay. I'll do a couple of them to show you how. So I'm just going to overlap it less than 1/4 of an inch. Really, you want to save as much copper as possible. So I just bent that up, and you can see there that I have that's bent up. And then using my hand, or I could use the wood again, I'm going to just squeeze that over like such. And then I would go to this side. Bend that over. So I kind of like the way it works if I do the two opposite sides, then the other two sides. I could nip the corner off with scissors because scissors will actually cut through this. What that would kind of look like. You wouldn't have to do this, but it is one way to go about it. I cut the corner off there and cut the corner off there. Then I could bend. Really, I could actually trim that too. That looks sharp. Copper is pretty soft. I can't guarantee you won't get cut, but I guess it is possible. So do move slow and deliberate and be careful. And now I could bend this over. That looks pretty nice then. You can always hammer these down slightly, or if you don't have a hammer, any somewhat solid object will work. Okay. Jump ahead to this piece that already has the 4 hems on it. What's going to help now is having something soft. This mouse pad works really well. This is a kind of a rubbery mouse pad, or you could stack up paper towels or t-shirts or a piece of leather or something that is soft. It does not work as well on the hard surface. So you want something soft. And here I printed out the Rocky Mountain Lobos logo in reverse. And the reason I did it in reverse is then when I emboss on the back, it comes out positive. You can see the positive. Okay. You're going to be able to use, the 3 C's is how I grade these creative projects. So with creativity is 1C. The more creative you are, the better. The complexity, the more complex you get, the better. See, this one here is more complex in a way than this one. I just kept adding and working it. So now I'm figuring you put 45 minutes to an hour into this project. And then complexity, creativity, and craftsmanship. How nice and straight your lines are. You take the time to emboss this. Okay. What I did here was I could cut this out. You don't have to do this if you don't have access to a printer or I'm leaving it up to you. The only rules for the image you're doing is that it's school appropriate. Nothing to do with alcohol or drugs or other things that you know what's school appropriate. You're turning it into me. I will know if it's school appropriate or not also. So I just won't grade it if it's inappropriate. Okay, so I could tape this on here. I think that would be a good move to tape it because then it's not sliding around. If you're using a logo like this, feel free, if you're crafty and artistic, you can kind of come up with your own design if you want, but make it complex. What I could very easily just write my name in here or draw a square. That's not very complex. Okay. So by putting this on here on the back side with the reverse image, which I did in Word, by the way, I just dragged the way you size an image in Microsoft Word, you just drag it kind of past itself and then it flips the image. Okay. So that's the side I'm working at, but I'm working here, but I'm going to get the image on that side. So this is a mechanical pencil that the lead is retracted in there. Here's a ballpoint pen that works. So all I'm doing, this is on the back side again, I'm just tracing around this. And applying some good pressure to it, not an over amount, but pretty good pressure. The soft back is very helpful. That's what lets the metal bend down into the, in this case, the mouse pad. But like I said, you can use a number of things. Something like a pot holder might work. Something, I'm sure you can find something. There's the beginning of the R. Okay. Do the middle. I find with the complexity part, the more details you add, the better. So now I'm going to actually go around out here also to give it a little bit more character, a little bit more depth. And that just pops out a little bit better. Pops out a little better. Okay. Then I could keep going with that. One thing I did with these, with this one, you can see there's like some little impressions. I could use the pen. I experimented with a little screwdriver. I'll just use the pen this time. If I really wanted to keep going, I'd spend some time at this. But if I just push down and put a lot of little dots in here, Okay, I would keep going and finish this logo, but this is what it ends up looking like. And I have a couple versions here. You see I put some details in here. Here I can continue. I'm doing this on the front side now. Just drawing little circles for a little bit of extra complexity. Like I say, try to put about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of effort into this, and do your best to make it neat and straight and clean. I'll show you one more thing, but that's how I did these little circles. The ink kind of rubs off it. There's ways you could probably put some ink on it and make it pop even more. One more thing is the border that you see on both of these. I just use a straight edge. You could use a ruler, but I can even use this piece of wood. And here I'm going on the front side so that the letters are raised on this side, but here I can experiment. There's all sorts of things you can do, but you do kind of only get one shot because you have one piece of copper, but I think you will figure it out. This is what I'm doing just to get a border around there. I could remove that tape or not right now, but have fun with it. Come up with something that you meaningful to you, as long as it's school appropriate. And that is the basics of embossing with this soft copper.